Looks like it's time. Let's go. Hello. How are we doing? How are we doing? I'm planning to get all sorts of things worked on today. It's gonna be one of those nights. I don't think it's gonna take as long as the 5-hour stream that I did the other, was it last week? Was it last week that I did that 5-hour stream? Might have been last week. That might have been last week. Shouldn't take that long, hopefully, but I do have a lot of different little things that I'm working on tonight. I think the first thing I'm gonna work on is getting these dice set up to have the little mushrooms in them. Little handmade mushrooms. So we'll start with that. Let me just grab some stuff. I'm just gonna start putting things into the molds. I've got a few other things that I'm gonna be working on as well. I'll wait for people to filter in a little bit, and I can go over what all I'm planning to make today. It would be useful if I remembered how I made the last set of mushroom dice, because I'm pretty sure I maybe UV resin the mushrooms to the... I'm trying to remember how I attached the mushrooms to the bottom here. I don't remember exactly. I'll start with the D6, because that's going to be the easiest to get into. I'm trying to remember if I used did I use UV resin, or did I use what did I use? How did I attach things? I don't remember. And I do want to make sure that this is going to fit in here. I'm going to grab my crafting knife, and I'm actually going to cut this so it's flatter on the bottom. It's a little bit shorter too. That should be fine. I think that'll make it easier to attach things in here. I'm just trying to remember, how did I attach these last time? I can't remember if UV resin worked or not. Did UV resin work? So the reason I'm thinking UV resin might not work is because it's kind of hard for the light to get in there. But I don't think I used Elmer's glue because that doesn't dry very fast. So I'm trying to remember. And then I need to decide what else I want to put in there with the mushrooms. Because the last set of mushroom dice that I did, I added, some kind of neutral flowers and stuff too. I feel like that could work again. Oh, hi, Wilson. How you doing? Or did you just, fall over onto your keyboard? Time for chaos. Well, of course, you're here. Gotta have chaos now. Some other little moss. Yeah, I'm trying to remember. I'm trying to decide what exactly I want to do. I'm trying to remember. I'm trying to remember one thing, decide a different thing. I'm trying to remember how I did this last time with the mushrooms before. Did I use UV resin to attach the mushrooms? And then also I want to decide what I want to put in there with the mushrooms, because I have a set of rainbow mushrooms. Last time I just did red ones. Last time I just did red mushrooms. I don't know. I don't want to take away from the pretty much. I don't want to take away from the mushrooms. I don't want to add too many colors. Let me see if I have anything kind of neutral. To be fair, it's on a stream somewhere. I could go back and find the stream and watch it. Probably should have done that. What do I got? Let's see what I got over here. What have I got in way of neutral? Too late now, I know, yeah. Basically. I mean, I could add some other little kind of neutral toned things. Might as well, I suppose. Most of them I think will be just kind of like moss, and then some of them I might add some more. A stream in a stream. I mean, that is a thing that people do, right? People do have a stream where they're watching something else. I guess probably more YouTube videos or something. Let's see. Let's pull out some kind of neutral things. I think I don't want to add too many, but just a few little neutral things. Some more greens, maybe a few kind of yellows. Yellows feel kind of neutral. At least in this context they feel kind of neutral. One of these. Maybe not that yellow though. Okay. I think I've got enough little things now. I'm not going to use too many, so let me put these away. I don't need them out anymore. I am gonna want some other plants later though. So I mentioned I'm doing a bunch of different things. First up is the mushroom dice. I'm also going to try out this fun new thing, which is a silicone cup, but it's split up, so you can put a different color in each one and then pour that into the mold. It's kind of a different way to do like a dirty pour. So we're going to try that out for the first time today. And I'm going to do that with a bunch of like purples and stuff. I want to try doing kind of like an amethyst kind of look. So I'm going to have like a couple different versions of purple with some like purple flakes and stuff in it. I have a re-pour of a set that I tried it last week, went, didn't quite work out. But I have these blanks that I made that are kind of blue, partially black. We're going to add some gears to one side of them, put those into their molds. And then I have 3 D20s to make, which is the first D20s from my Patreon. So if you signed up at a certain level, well, if you sign up at a certain level, you'll get a D20 each month. And so we're going to make the first 3 of those for all the folks that signed up in January. And then I have a thing here that I'm going to do another layer on. I did a clear red, and we're going to do an opaque orange next. It's going to have 3 different colors in it. But for now, I'm putting moss into these to go with the mushrooms that I've got here that I made. Maybe some other little plants too. Oh, but for the you put vodka, Sprite, and grenadine. Yes, that is the purpose. That is the purpose of that cup. Obviously. How did I not think of this before? Let me add some little leaves. I'm trying to kind of keep the middle area a little bit clear. I feel like that's just too tall. I'm taking everything out. Just a second. That's too much. Too much moss. I'm gonna get rid of some of this moss. We're gonna split that up a little bit. Make it a little bit like not as tall. There we go. That's better. We'll put some on one side and some on another side, and that'll work a little bit better. I think, anyways. All right. I'm trying to make it so that there is some pieces that kind of go up a little bit, but I don't want them to completely block the mushrooms. I also want to kind of leave a spot in the middle for the mushrooms. I'm trying to make it so that things will still be visible. And not too, I want the mushrooms to be the focus. So I don't want things too busy otherwise, which is easier said than done. All right, let me see if I can attach these with a little bit of UV resin. I I don't know if it's gonna work or not. I don't remember how I did it last time. I really should have looked it up. I feel like I can't have done it like this last time, but I really don't remember. Or did I just have them kind of held up by all the moss? I don't remember. Well, we'll try that. Maybe it'll at least kind of help hold things in place a little bit. Maybe. I can start putting everything else together as we go. The D20. I do think that it helped to maybe cut the bottom a little bit so it's a little bit flatter on the bottom. So we're going to do that again. I think that'll make it easier to kind of have it stay where I want it to. I do think maybe I just had things kind of held up by the moss that I had in there a little bit maybe. That might be part of how I did it last time. Just judging by how those mushrooms stayed up pretty well, but I feel like I attached them. I feel like I attached them somehow. Just don't remember. Alright. There's something I was gonna say. Oh, yeah. It's completely unrelated to dice. But it has to do with streaming. I'm thinking I'm gonna try something out. I'm thinking I'm gonna try out. I'm still planning to do all these arts and crafts streams and everything. I'm thinking I might try switching where I stream Minecraft and stream Minecraft on YouTube instead of Twitch, which doesn't necessarily change much. I know most people here follow me for the arts and crafts and not for the Minecraft. I'm thinking I'm gonna try. Streaming Minecraft over there. See how it goes. I am still figuring out kind of like schedule and stuff, because like I don't want to. I don't know. I don't want to overwork myself, but I also don't want to just like take away from my streams. That maybe sounds weird. But Saturday might stay a game day. I might just stream Wednesdays on Twitch. I don't know. I'm still figuring it out. Still figuring it out. Still not sure. Let's have a little bit more moss. Try not to. Come on. I'm trying to keep a spot clear in the middle. And it's sticking to my tweezers. I guess it doesn't have to be like completely in the middle, but still. We'll add a little bit of leaf, I think. I think a little bit of leaf would be nice. But I'm gonna try it out, I think, with the gaming, and we'll see how it goes. And then, I mean, honestly, if it works out really well, I might switch completely. But I'm not gonna say that I'm gonna do that, because I don't know. I don't know that I'll do that. It really depends on what I end up liking better. Alright, let's see how it did with the D6 here. Oh, hey, actually, yeah, that seems to have held it in place. Sweet. Let's do that again with our D20. Maybe I did do this with the resin last time. Come on. No, don't fall over. You're supposed to stand upright. What are you doing falling over? Huh, Flower? You're supposed to be upright too. This is the problem with D20s. D20s are a pain. D20s are probably the probably the hardest dice to make, just because the opening is so small compared to the size of the die. so they're a pain to try and put things in or get things out of. Just a moment. Let me see if I can get some of that UV resin that's in there hardened so that I'm not sticking to it, because I don't need that. Oh, I should be adding some of these too. Pull this moss out because I feel like it works kind of good as like a grass almost. So I'll add some of that as well. The thing that was annoying me was this flower here because it didn't want to stay upright. It's supposed to stay upright. Let's see. All right. Let's see if I can get things to lie where I want them this time. I mean, probably not, but we can try. No, things just want to stick to my tweezers. I mean, that sounds about right. Did I stick everything down with a little bit of UV resin last time? I mean, that's not a terrible idea. I'm gonna try sticking everything else down with a little bit of UV resin as well. Because, like, why not? I might as well. It's not gonna hurt anything, I don't think. I might have some trouble curing it. I'll get it figured out. And then I can kind of stick things where I want them, maybe. Get them to stay in their little corners. You stay in your little corner, Moss. Stay in your little corner. No, not on my tweezers, in your corner. Those are two different things. And let's see if we get this flower to stay. That one's harder to do, but we'll see if we can, we'll try. And then let me redo the mushroom here. I'm trying to like make it so that things aren't too tall, but also that they're kind of tall enough to hold my mushrooms where I want them. So it's a little bit of a balancing act in that way. Let's see if I can get this into the middle like I want. Let's see if I can get this to actually cook. We'll see how it does, because again, a little tiny opening. It's not falling over, is it? No, I think we're okay. Little tiny opening for the D20s. I wonder if I can just like put one of the lights like in there, because there's a whole bunch of like little tiny lights here. Let's see if I can make sure one of those lights like actually gets in there. Alright, moving on. We'll just go down the line. Actually, probably is better to go down the line, because then I can do things in color order. Actually, let me, I'll grab the lids. Let me lay these in order. So, and I'll put the mushrooms with them so that I make sure that I do everything in the right order. So orange is going to be the D12, yellow is going to be the first D10, green is going to be the second D10, teal is going to be the D8, dark blue is going to be the D6, and then purple is going to be the D4, and our pink is going to be the D2. Just got to make sure that I grab the right ones. I made some of the little mushrooms for the D2, and then I realized, oh, those are too big. Those aren't gonna work. I think those ones will all work though. These ones are a little bit too big. They're just a little bit. They would hit the lid. They would hit the lid. That's not gonna work out. Cool. So onto the D12. Again, let me cut the bottom of the mushroom so it's kind of flat. Is this going to be a good size? Yeah, that'll be a good size. Cool. Just want to make sure it wasn't too tall there for a second. And then, yeah, things aren't necessarily the most secure in there. But as long as it's secure enough, that's the real thing. All right, D12. Let's see. I feel like there was something I was going to talk about and I can't remember what it was. I really don't remember what it was. Oh, I was going to mention what my plans are for. My plan is for the Patreon dice. So my thought was I want to try doing something that has like some sort of flower or plant in it, and then maybe like a metallic foil or something. And then I was thinking like kind of like a foggy white in it. I think that would be kind of cool. I'm gonna look through the flowers. Maybe the I have some really pretty kind of dark purple ones I could use. Do that with maybe like some silver foil and white. That might be kind of cool. That might be what I do. I might use the dark purple flowers that I have. I think they'd be pretty. I need a little bit more of this moss, I think. This moss works well for kind of, because it's kind of fluffy. It works well for like propping things up on. Which is why it ends up kind of being what I use for that sort of stuff. Alright, this one needs more stuff in it. I'll add a little chamomile flower. Maybe I'll add a little chamomile flower if I don't drop it. This is, again, a pain. Alright, let's try the UV resin again. See if I can kind of tack things down a little bit. I just hope that it gets cured a little bit. I'm just going to kind of put a little bit in each of the corners, I think. I'm trying not to get it like on the side itself, side of the die, because I don't really want that, like, if it didn't cure properly, it might cause some problems there, but I figure it'll be pretty okay inside of the die. Okay. So let's try adding a little bit of moss now. Kind of around the edges. Sorry, I'm trying to focus because things don't like to work with me. Actually, I think that worked okay. Alright, I think I got that moss kind of in. Yeah, just add... Actually, you know what? I'm just going to nuke that moss by itself. How is this looking? Still not great, but... need the it's always, that's the thing with trying to use any sort of UV resin inside of these molds, is there's not a lot of space inside of these molds for light to get in. I'm just kind of trying to tack things down a little bit, so hopefully we'll be okay. I worked with the D6. D20 has a little bit more problem where the size of the mold is rather large in comparison to the size of the opening. I'm gonna call that good on the D20, I think. The D12, we're just kind of trying to tack things, a little bit of moss down. So we'll just call it good. It's fine. I do want to see if I can get chamomile flower in here. There we go. That went a little bit better than last time because my tweezers weren't picking up all of the moss like we tried to do last time. And I'm going to add just a little bit of greenery around it. A few other kinds of moss, that sort of stuff. I'm going for, it's kind of funny because like obviously the mushrooms that I'm putting in these are very brightly colored. Like, you know, it's just because of how brightly colored they are, they turn out kind of cartoony. But at the same time, they're kind of realistic. Like the shape of them and stuff is more realistic. Like the dots on the top aren't like super circular or even or anything. I went for kind of a more natural little flakes sort of look. So it's definitely in an interesting spot between kind of realistic and kind of cartoony, I think. Alright, let's put the orange mushroom in the D12. Oops, nope, I had it balanced for a second there. Let me... Now I can't grab it. Alright, just a second. It's not a bad idea. Not a bad idea if other people haven't stretched in a little bit either. You know, I feel like, here I'm gonna stand up for a bit, actually. You know, I feel like I would like some better channel point rewards. Because if I'm being honest, I don't care about a lot of the ones I have. I just couldn't think of anything else. It's just like the stretch one is just like, oh, it's a good reminder, but also like, why? Let me see if I can. Oh, actually, yep, I think that froze it in place. Perfect. Okay. It's like, you know, it's a good reminder, but at the same time, it's very inconvenient a lot of the time. Like, if I'm trying to do, if I'm in the middle of, like, pouring resin, it's just like, no, I'm on a time limit. I'm obviously not in the middle of pouring resin at the moment. But I just don't have I don't know, I don't have anything better to add for, like, the lower level rewards. I have some higher level rewards that I think are more interesting. Like I have a shop coupon, and if you get a whole bunch of points, you can dictate what sort of stream I do. But ultimately, it's just like I don't know what to do for the smaller ones. All right. I think that's enough to hold the orange one in place. I'll move back over here for now. There's that. All right. Let me. D12. All right. Our D10. D10. That's this one. Oh, I'm just going down the line. I'm excited for these. I think this will be fun. I think this will be fun. Oh, I should have put this flower into maybe the D12 or the D20 or something. I think it's gonna be too big for the other ones, but that's okay. All right. There's our D12 ready to go. All right, D10. I think it's been working where I've just been putting a little tiny bit of, you need to drink water. Speaking of, I don't actually have a hydrate one, but also I don't know, I don't forget to do that, really, I don't think. That one doesn't work at all if I'm in the middle of pouring resin because I'm wearing a respirator. I know it's one that other folks have. The stretch one makes more sense for me. I can do that one while I'm pouring resin. Also, I realize if I'm thirsty a lot easier than I realize that, oh, I've been sitting in the exact same position for the last 45 minutes. Because my throat starts to get dry when I'm streaming. Just because I'm talking a whole bunch. Alright. Let's add a little bit of muss in here. Little tiny bit over here. Yeah. No, stay. There we go. I got it to stay. Oh, that does remind me. Let me cut the end of this mushroom so it's a little bit more flat. There we go. And let's add some of the other kinds of not the other kinds of mushrooms, the other kinds of moss. There we go. That's the thing. Maybe. And then I think I'll cook that for a minute. I'll start getting the next D10 figured out while I do that. Just going to do the same thing where I dot a little tiny bit in here. Just kind of at the corners. A little bit more moss. I think my problem is I'm adding a little bit too much at once. And so it's kind of trying to push against the sides, and then it gets difficult. Because it's trying to push itself out of the way. And I don't want it to push itself out of the way. I want it to stay where I want it to stay. In the way. Not in the way. It's pushing itself in my way. It's trying to push itself away from the sides of the mold. Alright, I'll let this one cook for a minute while I add all the fun things to our other D10. Like, I'll put that there. I could maybe put, what can I put in here? I could do a leaf probably. We'll do a leaf. Yeah, I'll add a leaf. That seems good. A little tiny bit of some other plant. There we go. And maybe a little tiny piece of like grass. Yes, we'll do a little piece of grass. Perfect. And then I'll UV my little mushroom in place. That one's just going to be held up by all the moss around it. There we go. Get that going. And let's see, we can add all of our fun stuff to this one too. I might be able to fit in a little flower actually. I think I could fit a flower in here. Yeah, I could fit a flower in here. No problem. If I can actually get the little stem spot to go where I want it to. Ooh, I'm kind of breaking up the flower a little bit. Ooh, I've kind of broken up the flower a little bit. It's fine. It's all good. It's great. It'll be good. But yeah, let's add that and maybe some other little, I don't know, there's a little piece of a stem of something. Add that in there. Just adding some kind of natural neutral stuff in there. There's that D10. All right. And again, let me cut off the bottom of this mushroom so that it's flat. Okay, see if I can get this one in here to stand upright. Alright, I think that'll work. Cool. I have these in a completely opposite order to the lids. Alright, that's going to be that one. We're moving on to our D8. We'll do the same thing again with a little bit of UV resin to tack the moss in place. Excuse me while I hide my UV resin back here, so it's not in direct line of sight of my UV lamp. I think it's probably okay, but still. Oops. Alright. Actually, something I just noticed on here too is there's a little bit of the like base dirt part that's splashed up on the side there. Let's get rid of that. Alright. Go. There's our first 4. Move on to our well, 5 actually, because we have the D6 as well. But let me move on to our D8. This is completely unrelated to anything. I will explain my thought process in a moment. Do there exist like blueprints for the Winchester Mansion? I'm just curious, like is that something that you can get? Is it possible to get like some sort of something that shows how the Winchester Mansion is actually set up? Because that'd be kind of cool. I feel like that'd be something cool to have. The my thought process there was, I was thinking again about how I might start streaming Minecraft on YouTube. Need a little bit more resin in here. And then I was like, it'd be cool to build some sort of like weird, complicated house or something. And then I was just like, it'd be cool to build the Winchester Mansion. I don't think I would. That'd be a long project, I imagine. But it was one of those things where it's like, can you even like get something that shows how the Winchester Mansion is laid out? Is that a thing that exists, or I don't know. Alright, we're gonna do this again for our D4. The D4 here I think should actually be easier to keep things in place, because again I have kind of a larger opening at the top compared to the actual size of the thing, like the D6. D6 has a nice big opening in comparison to the die itself. I actually have 2 mushrooms here for the D4. Well, let me finish doing the stuff for the D4, and then I'll actually move over to doing the putting the mushroom and everything into the D8. Add a little bit of kind of some brown in there. A little bit more greenery. The thing is, this one is gonna kind of get broken up a little bit. All right, we'll cook that one while I add some fun things to our D8 here. Maybe a little bit of some sort of leaf. Yeah, I'll add a little bit of some sort of leaf. That seems nice. Doesn't need to be that big. And I don't know, should I do a flower of some sort? There, I've got some little tiny like flowers. We'll add one of our little tiny flowers. And oh, I actually haven't cut the bottom of this mushroom yet, so let's do that. All right, there we go. Let's put a little bit on our D8. So we actually have, let's see, we've got this to set up. The only other thing that really needs much setup at all is going to be the blue and the black blanks. That's fun to say, blue and black blanks. Ooh, is this going to be too tall actually? Just a moment. I'm going to cut this mushroom so it's even shorter. Honestly, having a little bit of variety in the heights is kind of nice anyways. Makes all the mushrooms feel a little bit more organic. What was I saying? Oh, the other thing that I have to, do a little bit of kind of prep work on is the blue and the black blanks that I've got sitting over here that we need to add some things to. But otherwise, everything's fairly straightforward tonight. Just, mostly colors and pigments and things. Oh my! Colors and pigments and things. The D4. Let's see, what do I want to add to the D4? I'll add a little bit of this grass. I think I'll just leave the D4 as is, because if I want to get both of these mushrooms in there, it's going to be, oh, excuse me, a little bit of work, I think. There's one mushroom. There's the other mushroom. Let's see if I can get these to stick in here. And for D8, get that out of the way. Yeah, let me see if I can get these mushrooms just stick in here. There's one. I don't know if it's touching the bottom or not. Might not be. That's fine. Let's get this one in there. If I can grab it. There we go. Got it. And then we've just got our D2 left. And the D2 is going to be, you know, actually I'll tack down the stuff on the D2 as well. I think that'll help out a little bit. Just put down a bit of the UV resin. Just a little bit, I'm just going to smear it. This one I'm just smearing a little bit, since I want things to kind of stick everywhere. And we're going to use some of this, our nice fluffy moss. I want to get this kind of, not even necessarily, but I want to get it spread out so that there's some all over this thing, because I don't want it to just, I don't know, look like there's nothing in this, it's just dirt in the D2. That's not what I want. So we're gonna add a couple different kinds of moss, but let's get some moss in there for sure. And I think I could add, there's not a piece of moss. I think I could add some, like a piece of leaf or something. Let's add a piece of leaf. Yeah, we'll add a piece of leaf. That looks nice. Has a little bit of different color and texture in there. And then I'm going to add all of my little tiny mushrooms. And these ones are actually just little spheres that I put some of the little white flecks on. Because you're not going to, like, this thing's so narrow you wouldn't see, you wouldn't be able to see the stems anyways. So it just works out that way. Trying to get it so that I can actually, I'll actually be able to see these though. There we go. I think that'll work. Got to see there. Got some mushrooms in there. Let me cook that one up since that's still sticky. And then that'll be these all ready to get poured, which is exciting. All right, let me grab something to set all of these planty bits back in. This will work. So what I'm thinking, not this one. What I'm thinking for the D20s, I had a couple of ideas. Like I have, you know, a basic plan for it. I'll show you. Just pick those up and out of the way. I'm thinking maybe just maybe, let me put this up and these away. What if I could do these flowers. These ones have really good color to them, and they're three-dimensional. They look kind of blue on camera, but they're really nice, rich purple. There we go. They're really nice, rich purple color. I was thinking I could do these in like little clusters, since they're kind of in little clusters anyways. Or I got some pressed flowers recently. Here, let me move these out of the way. Move these out of the way. Take that. Either these, or I got some pressed flowers recently. And I was thinking I could use some sort of little thing from here. Like, come out. Like some of the like little tiny flowers that are at the top here. There's multiple colors. And I could do something like that. Use one of the sort of like starburst sort of ones. Probably not the white ones because I'm thinking I'm going to do white with it. Maybe not yellow. Could do green or red or blue. I have these purple ones too. I'm kind of tempted. I don't know. I mean, I could also do some sort of greenery as well. Like that could look cool as well. If I did like a little bit of like a fern, did like a fern with some foil and some kind of like a white smoke, that could look cool. But I'm tempted by maybe the purple flowers. I don't know. What do you guys think? What should I do? The red could be pretty. There's some sort of like red. Oh, there's like a red fern in here. I'm sure these are dyed, but there's like a red fern in here. That could be cool. What? Bink. You know, I know that my Streamlabs has been having problems, but somehow I don't think Bink is gonna work either way. I don't know if Bonk is even back up and running again. But see, you're here now. You can give me... that one was on you, yeah. Here, you can give me an opinion now on what color of flower I should put in the Patreon D20s. Because I'm... Looks like my commands still aren't working. Why are my commands still not working? I'm gonna have to do some research there. I need to do some research there. I don't know why those still aren't working. I haven't done anything to fix it, but you know. There's other pretty flowers here too. These ones are actually kind of like a deep purple. They're like a bluish purple. I really like the. I'm thinking maybe these ones. Even though I have all sorts of other pretty ones now too. But these ones are all pressed, and those ones have some shape to them. But also the yellow. I was thinking of oh wait, I could do those though. I was thinking of here's my plan. I'm letting you in on my plan. My plan was to do some sort of flower in like a clear resin with like a little bit of shimmer, and I think maybe some foil, maybe silver foil. And then I was gonna do kind of like a cloudy white, kind of pipe that in, so it's kind of like clouds of fog in there, a little bit of fog in there. And I feel like the yellow's pretty, but I don't know that it would have enough contrast with the white, maybe? I don't know, I worry it'd get lost. I think this one would have, the purple would have more contrast. I mean, I could also do purple and yellow. I think I like the purple. I think I'm gonna do purple with silver foil and a little bit of shimmer. And then like a cloudy white. I think that's my plan. Cool. Got those figured out. Okay. Cool. Yeah, got those figured out. I think that's good. I mean, I could do like gold. Gold always looks good with purple, but I don't know if I want the that. I don't know where I want the contrast. I kind of want the contrast to be the color against the. I don't know. I feel like gold is less kind of spooky, eerie with the fog. You don't want to stick out too much. Okay, got that figured out. All right, so the next thing I need to do these add gears to these blanks. I did this once before already. If you weren't here, what was it last Wednesday that I did this once already? But I'm changing things up a little bit this time. I've done the blanks differently. We're gonna see how it goes. We're just gonna, let's just attach some gears here. So, move these out of my way so they're not taking up the entire screen. We can focus on just the set that we're working on. Hi, Nerdy Panda. Oh, that's weird. You didn't show up. Oh my. Oh, interesting. Ah, my web browser is frozen. Oh, I also didn't see that for some reason my web browser froze. So I didn't actually see. Thanks for rating Sorely69. Yeah, I didn't actually see anything past talking about the yellow flowers. That might be a problem. To be fair, my streaming software is fine, so I can actually see. I can see what's going on. I was just reading the chat from the stream itself on the web browser as opposed to on the streaming software. We'll just move that over. Not much is up except for the fact that for some reason my Twitch is being funky. Let me see if I can get that to work. Well, if things go down, you'll know why. Oh dear. Let's I'll get started on these dice, and we'll just ignore our problems and hope they go away. Having a good time chatting about dice. That's fine. That's fine. All right. So I went and remade these. I made this set already, but had some problems. Also, I found some dice that were out of the way. But I went and made these already, but and they were like this. Just a second. So they have like the gears and stuff, and then there's kind of a black half as well. You can see. And these aren't bad. These aren't bad. What I did was I had the black separate from the blue. This time I just did the black and the blue together, and then we're going to attach the gears to it. My problem was that one of the dice, the blank insert, didn't sit in there correctly, and so it ended up failing. But we're just gonna try this again, slightly differently. See how it goes. Well, we're kind of going for that same sort of look. Let's start with the D20. The reason I'm holding it up to the light is to make sure I'm putting things on the correct side, because I want to have the gears in kind of the blue part, but not really on the black part as much. So I'm gonna go for that. Start adding some UV resin. Yeah, for some reason my Twitch is still frozen. So I'm just using a little bit of UV resin here to tack on these gears, because that shouldn't really be visible once I put these into the actual dice molds. These are going to be going into, these don't have any numbers on them, and they're going to be going into molds that do have numbers in them with some clear resin. And let's just Just gonna add, not all the faces need to have one. And I think I need to open this one up too, because I need some more kinds of gears here. I don't have enough different kinds. I don't want like all of the same kind next to each other. That's not nearly as interesting. Also try not to put my fingers in all the UV resin. Oh, anyways, sorry. I've gotten very off track from actually talking with folks. So what were you guys doing in the stream before this? Sorry, I'm being a bad raid receiver at the moment. I'm over here trying to troubleshoot things that I didn't realize were happening. Let's see. You bought dice from eBay. Ooh, drawing. Oh, cool. I know. I'm being a bad raidie. Put that in the middle and that kind of there. Let's go like that. Actually, trying to make things kind of spread out a little bit. That's cool. I'm honestly not the best at drawing. I enjoy drawing. I'm more of a painter. Myself. And it's funny because like I feel like I'm pretty good at painting, but I'm not very good at drawing. They're like two different things, I feel like. Don't always translate. Don't always translate. Alright, let's put one of these maybe. I think that'll be good. Alright, let me just nuke that. Have I been playing Wordle? I've done it 3. I've done 3 of them. On all 3, it's taken me forwards. To be fair, I like games like that. It reminds me of like Mastermind, which I enjoy. Which, if you don't know what Mastermind is, 4 is about your average. I've only done, like I said, I've done 3 and all of them have been 4. Mastermind though, it's a 2-player game, and like one person comes up with a 4 color code, and then you go and you use the colors that you have to like kind of guess the code, and then you get basically something saying haven't drawn anything good lately. That's fine. Sometimes it's just fun to draw too. I haven't done much painting lately either, to be honest. But Mastermind though, oh, I don't like where that is. That's fine. We'll pull that one off. The person that is guessing, they go and they put in like the numbered little colored pegs, and then the person who made the code says like how many of those colors are actually how do I explain this? They basically mark whether you have any colors correct or any colors that are correct and also in the correct spot, kind of like Wordle, where it marks whether it doesn't tell you specifically which color's in the right spot in Mastermind, but like Wordle, you kind of get something saying either, oh, you have colors that are correct in the right spot, or ones that are correct but not in the right spot, and you have to try and guess what the passcode is, basically. There's also a word version that I've played before too, which is also fun. There is a version that involves you use like words. Alright, let me just, I think I want one more little one right here, maybe. One more little one right here. Kind of down a little bit further. I'm gonna go for a little one. What sort of stuff do you enjoy drawing, Nerdy Panda? Or do you do other arts and crafts stuff too? Alright, moving on to the D12. Just let that go over here. Hopefully it's not so close that it starts curing. Oh, well, we can't all ask Panda questions at the same time. That's not going to work out well. It's like, you know, I don't know, maybe it's just my family that does this, but I feel like someone always asks a question right as someone takes a bite of food. Just like, man, you got good timing, don't you? Right as someone takes a bite of food, that's when you have to ask them, you know, how their day's been, what they've been working on. It's you can't do it while people's mouths aren't full. All right, I think D20 is probably pretty good. You do both. You draw a lot of cartoons and anime, but recently you've been making candy cuffs and candy charms. Oh, cool. That's fun. I do mostly resin stuff, if you couldn't tell. But it's fun to dabble. Tabletop role-playing games. It's the sort of stuff that you use D&D dice for. So like D&D or other games kind of like that. Nope, don't like that actually. Let's put one here. And then we'll leave this one. I always say they're group storytelling games. That's how I describe, oh, hey. Wait. I think Twitch might be back. Okay. I think we're good. Yeah, I tend to describe, tabletop RPGs as group storytelling games. If someone asks me, like, what D&D is, that's usually... the way that I usually describe it is one person makes a world and then everybody else makes characters in that world. Oh, well here, yeah, it's basically like one person like makes a setting. So like, you know, a location and kind of what's happening in that location. And then everybody else makes characters that exist in that location. And, you know, run around and do stuff as problems arise, or you go into a town and some sort of story happens. It's really what it is. Some people play it, you know, differently and stuff. Some people it's all about like fighting monsters. Some people it's about like character progression. Some folks it's about like, I don't know, I guess mechanics and stuff. But yeah, it's like a group storytelling game. You went for water? I was explaining that D&D is like a group storytelling game. Oh good, I'm glad you didn't drown. That's how I always explain it to people. One person makes a world, everybody else makes characters in the world. And then you use like dice and stuff to make sure that it stays fair. Because like if you say, hey, my character does this, like you can't just make your character like all powerful or whatever. That's why you have the dice and stuff. It's because you have the one person kind of like running this scenario and to say keep things fair and keep the story moving forward. Yeah, assisted improv. And you don't have to play it with like super complicated characters or anything. Like it doesn't have to be super character based or anything. Some people just like to like, you know, make a character and go fight monsters with it. It's not even about like any sort of character progression or anything. It's just about like building things so that you can fight monsters the best. And then the person who's running things isn't like running a story necessarily. They're just coming up with monsters for you to fight. But you know, it varies so much depending on the group that you play with. And as long as everyone's having fun, that's fine. I'm still of the opinion that D&D and Minecraft are very similar. Speaking of uncomplicated characters, are you still working on your, was it a bard that you were working on? Alright, there's our D20 and our D12. Let's move on to a D10. Let's see here, that's going to be the bottom, so this is going to be the top. College of Whispers, I don't even know that one. What is that one from? That's not the core rule book. Bard Mind Assassins, oh gosh. Yeah, obviously there's more complicated aspects, so like, you know, you pick like a type of job that your character has. It's like a bard is like a magical musician. And you can have like a job and something like that, but kind of like a specialized feel. And then you have to pretend to not be that. People don't necessarily want to hang out with the magical mind assassins. Wonder why. I know all of my close friends are magical mind assassins. Alright. That one's actually too similar in size, so let's put that one somewhere else. Put that on that side, maybe. Let's put one that's a little bit smaller on this side. Yeah, I should actually show you guys what I'm doing. My favorite, so like you saying that you have to pretend to not be that, I have found, you know, after making some characters and stuff, there's a few things that I need to actually kind of get a handle on how to play a character. Because I'm honestly, like, you know, I've enjoyed doing theater and stuff in the past, but I'm really not good at character work. So honestly, maybe, you know, tabletop RPGs would be good for me. But, what was I saying? Oh, there's like a few things that I've realized that I kind of need to help me figure out how to play a character, a particular character. And like one of them is a concrete goal. I need to have like something that I'm moving towards, and that's actually something that I pulled up. I got from a theater class that I took. I took a theater class, and basically one of the things that we were taught in it was that it was basically breaking down a scene into story beats. So you go and you break down a scene, like whenever you get a new piece of information or there's some sort of change that happens, that's a new beat in a scene. But one of the things that also we were taught was basically your character should always have a goal, and it should be something that is measurable. So you can't just say, you know, I want to make this other person angry. That's not a goal. You can't really measure that. Like, there's no real measurement of, is this person angry? I think so. A better measurement was, I want to make this person punch a wall. Like, that is something that you can measure. You know whether they've punched the wall or not. You don't necessarily know whether they're angry or not. And so that's something now that I've realized with like D&D, for me to be able to figure out how to play a character, I need to know what that character's goal is, and that can change, you know, from one moment to the next, or over the course of the story or whatever. But it makes it a lot easier for me to, it's a lot easier to move towards something, I feel like. And it could be something, you know, I don't know. So usually I have like someone they're trying to find, or an item they're trying to get, or someone they're just going to kill, or a place that they're trying to lead the party to. And it's one of those things where I didn't realize this, and then I looked back at the characters that I'd played, and the ones that I felt were the most fun to play and that I had kind of the best grasp on were all ones that had goals like that. So I need to have like a goal. What else was it? There was like 3 things. One of them was a goal. One of them was a secret. It's fun to have a secret of some sort. I guess I don't necessarily need that, but honestly, it's just really fun to have some sort of secret that you're keeping from the other players at the table. I've done, like, all of my favorite moments have been, like, the reveals of secrets. I played a character that was a doppelganger working for the big bad. So, like, I had a character that was working for a lich, so a bad guy. And, like, the reveal when the party found out was just like, it's so good. So good. It's just so much fun. Just so much fun. There's a third thing, though, and I can't think of what it is. Oh, a flaw! That's what it is. I need some sort of flaw. That's what I was trying to think of. Having a goal and having a flaw. And these are things that, like, I realized after playing characters and going, okay, why do I not have a grasp on how this character acts? Like, why am I not picking up how this character acts? Having some sort of, like, major, like, character flaw is, well, one, it can be fun. Like, I have a paladin that I've played. She's a lot of fun. It's one of those things where, looking at it now, also I'm just like, okay, yeah, she had all of these things. But, like, her flaw was that she had no fear, basically. Like, she would just march straight into danger with, like, no regards for safety, her own safety. It just wasn't something that she thought about at all. And, like, one of the things about D&D is sometimes you can get that flaw just from, like, you roll dice to figure out what some of the traits of your character, and sometimes you can use those. Like, because it can be a flaw to, in her case, have a really low wisdom. Like, oh, she does not think about, she doesn't have any common sense. Like, that's one of her flaws. She just doesn't have any common sense. But then, I'm adding another gear here. I need another one over here. And then I had, like, another character, my doppelganger character was just, like, overly hedonistic, which again was fun to play. To be fair, my doppelganger character appeared overly hedonistic, and he was hedonistic, but also it was partially an act. That one, it was partially an act. Because he was trying to, he walked around with a container of cheap wine on him that he was always drinking from. But, like, it was a little bit so that people wouldn't suspect him of working for the big bad. But it really gives you a way to play things, I feel like, when your character has some sort of major flaw. Literally, for my paladin, for character trait, I had confident, flaw, overconfident. It gives you a reason to do stupid things sometimes, which is fun. But yeah, and then it's fun to have a secret of some sort. That one, I guess, is not necessary, but that one's fun. So, a goal and a flaw, I'd say, are like the two things that I really feel like I need to get a grasp on what a D&D character's kind of like. Let me show you what this D20 looks like. So I only have the gears on, like, one half, and I have them on the blue half. I'm kind of trying to get them spaced out a bit. And then there's none on this half. So they're going to kind of be, like, falling a little bit almost. Yeah, that's kind of the idea there. I want them to look kind of random. My problem is that, like, I guess maybe other people are like this too. I don't know, I always feel like I have to think about things, and, like, break them down. Some people are just so naturally good at doing things on the fly. But if I want to, like, actually get a character figured out, I need to, like, sit down and, like, break up a scene and be like, okay, what is the motivations here? Some people are really good at just doing things like that on the fly. Alright, I need some more gears here. Let's just pour out the rest that are in here. And let's see what we got here. Alright, got 4 more here. Okay. I'm just moving down the line. Alright, that's the black side. Is there, so folks that do play, like tabletop RPGs, what sort of stuff do you use to kind of get into, like, to figure out how to play your character? Like, what sort of stuff, maybe you haven't thought about it either, but what sort of stuff really affects what your character is like? There's a question for you. You know, I just kind of went through some of the things that I've found work for me. And maybe it doesn't have to be, you know, a tabletop game either. Maybe you're a writer or, you know, actor or something like that. What sort of stuff helps you figure out how to embody a character? And again, I'm not very good at it. It's funny, like I enjoy theater. Part of the reason I'm like, I'm not going to be an actor is that, like, I'm just not naturally good at embodying a character. It is kind of funny, when I did I feel like maybe I could get better at it. I do feel like maybe I could get better at it. I'm just thinking of, I did a voice acting class a couple years ago online, which was fun. It was a lot of fun. But, well, it made me realize that maybe I'm not cut out for the character acting stuff, but I realized that I feel like I'm pretty good at commercials. I feel like I was pretty good at commercials, and that actually had a similar sort of thing where you needed to be thinking about the demographic almost of who you were talking to. Part of the reason I felt like I was pretty good at that was because of one of the reads that I did, and this class was mainly, it was a small class, like 5 people on Zoom. It was mainly reading, either character sides or just random, I don't know. It was just kind of random, sorry, just a second, let me attach that and then I'll, like commercial reads and stuff. And it was fun, and we'd read those and then get feedback from a guy who worked in the industry and was teaching the class, and as well as like our peers and stuff. But one of the commercial reads that I did was for some sort of like toy. It was for some sort of toy, and I read it like I was reading it to kids. So like, emphasis on like the fun stuff, and very, very like energetic, like emphasis on like the fun things, and very energetic and kind of like higher pitched, like you're young too, because you kind of want to appeal to like whatever the demographic is, kind of make them feel like you're part of the demographic too almost. So if you're trying to pitch something to kids, in this case, you want to talk at a higher pace and you want to be excited. You emphasize how fun things are. And so I went and I did that. Oh, my phone buzzed. I went and did that, and then the instructor was like, okay, now read it like you are selling it to the parents. And I did it, and I was like, okay, I know exactly what I'm doing here. Because, like, if you're trying to sell something to adults, you want to, emphasize the safety aspects and the no mess aspects and, easy to clean up, that sort of stuff, as opposed to the fun aspects of it. You're gonna want to be, you still want to be energetic. You always want to be like positive, even if you're talking about like, something bad in commercials. You still like want to talk like you're smiling. But you lower your voice a little bit. It makes you sound a little bit more authoritative, and like you don't have to be as like over the top energetic. It was one of those things where it's just like, oh, I get it. I get this. I get what I'm trying to do here. But I just don't have that natural thing for characters. I don't know why. I'm trying to get better actually at that sort of stuff. So that's something that it's the same sort of thing with like set dressing and stuff too. I always love when people get the details of things right. So if people do like drawings and they have lots of like little details and things, where it's just like, oh yeah, this person would have that thing in their room in this drawing because, it's a reference to this thing that they did. Or, stuff like that. And I've always been really bad at like remembering to include those details. And I want to get better at it, and that's actually one of the things that I'm trying to do in Minecraft. So I want to get better at figuring out why things are the way that they are, and then setting things up so that they make sense with that. That's there was a Minecraft builder I was watching on YouTube, and they had built like a cart that went across a path, and like where the path was, they'd put like mud across the path, and they had a lamppost that had fallen over, and like you could just see, if you went and like looked at what they had built, you could tell exactly what had happened. Like it told a story. All the little details there worked together to say, here's what's going on in this scenario. And I was just like, man, that is just cool. It's about like set dressing, really. Like how, you don't just add things in because they look cool. You add things in because it makes sense for the location. It helps further the story, and I don't know, it's just stuff like that. It's just cool to me, and I'm really bad at it. I want to get better at thinking about why things are the way that they are aesthetically. Because I feel like it definitely adds to things. I need more tiny ones. Where's the tiny ones? Have I used all of the tiny ones? Wait, there's one more tiny one. I see another tiny one. Ooh. Alright. Ooh, they're getting kind of caught. You just gotta look at it and be like, why are you the way that you are? Well, or in this case, try to make it so that what you're creating has a story for how it got there. That's kind of what I'm thinking about in terms of art, where it doesn't already exist. Like, what do you add to it? And it's just like trying to figure out what to add is an art form in and of itself. Figuring out like what should be included to help tell the story that the art piece is trying to convey. People who are good at it, I'm always impressed by. But yes, why are you the way that you are? I ask myself that every day. Alright, we've got our blanks here with our little. Got our blanks here with our gears on them. And these are going to go into the molds. I actually need to grab a set of molds for these. I need to do the D2 still, but let's see here. I do with the highest number up? Might as well, right? Or highest number down. Might be better with the highest number down. I need to make some more D20 molds, I think. I guess I'm using a bunch of them. Let's see here. All right, let's do our G2. Do I have a small one? There's a smaller one. Smaller-ish one. Move that one up a little bit. That works. And then I'm done with these. I put them away. Now there's a little bit of UV resin on there, so I'll let those cure for a second too. Alright, I'm just thinking here about whether I want to grab molds that have the highest number at the top or the highest number at the bottom. I don't know that it really matters. Let me set those off to the side. Don't need those. So let me... Alright. I think I will. I'm going to cook these one last time. Just make sure things are all hardened. Alright. And I think that's all of the UV resin I need for tonight. So I can put this up and away. Up and away! And out of the way. So we've got our molds with our little mushrooms in them all set up. Those are good. Got these made, but I need to grab molds for them. Might as well do it with the highest number at the top. That's fine. I think as long as I'm consistent here, it'll be good. No, I'm gonna do the highest number at the bottom. Actually, I've changed my mind. All right. So doesn't really matter too much, but I think it'll be a little bit easier almost. Okay. Let me grab my molds. I probably should make more molds, but I always need to make more molds. Making a molds. I don't like making molds. They're a pain. I do not enjoy it, Sam. I do not enjoy making molds. I'm working. I went and filmed the last little part of the mold making tutorial that I'm putting together at the moment. Where did I put my little box that this goes in? I'm blind, aren't I? Is it on my table and I just can't find it? That happens sometimes. Where did the little box go that this goes in? What have I done? Where did that go? What did I do? Where's that box? I don't know. It's probably right in front of me and I'm just not seeing it with all the clutter. Because that happens. Well, we'll just set it up in a way, I guess. For now. What have I done? Okay. So there, we have our molds for our blue ones. Got our molds for our blue ones. These. Set over here. All right, let's see. We've got that. We've got these. I'm gonna set these over here as well. These are all just gonna have clear resin. Might as well these are all just gonna have clear resin, which will be nice. We've got our blue ones, we've got our little mushroom ones. Those are all gonna have clear resin. Next up, let me show you the new tool we're gonna have some fun with. I got this. Jen actually got this for me. And basically the idea is we can put 3 different colors in it and then pour, and it will kind of do like a swirl with the 3 different colors. And so my thought was, I'm going to do, one of them is going to be a pretty purple color with a little bit of shimmer, some iridescent flakes, and some purple flakes. One of them is going to be like a shimmering white, the cocktail cup, yes. Shimmering white with, I'm thinking maybe some like kind of a purple shimmer to it. I think a little, it was kind of just like a purple shimmer to it. I want to go for kind of like an amethysty kind of vibe, but I want to do like those sort of purples. And then the third one I was thinking of doing kind of like an opaque lighter purple. I thought that might be nice. That's the idea. So I need 3 mixing cups. I have mixing cups here that I have not cleaned out. But we'll just grab that little bit of resin out of there. It's fine. That's got a few flecks of purple shimmer, which is fine. This one's got some of the purple, the one that's kind of like white and then kind of shimmers purple, which is what we're going to kind of go for anyway. So that. And then this one, like I was saying, I'm just going to do like a light purple, I think, like an opaque light purple. And I think I'm going to need to do equal amounts of all 3, because I don't think this would work if I did different amounts in each cup. Just a thought. So they're going to have about 10 milliliters in them each. Each one's going to have about 10 milliliters, which is fine. That works out just fine. But let's see. So this one I'm not going to add anything to yet because it's just going to have liquid pigments. This one we can start adding some of our flakes and our powders and stuff. Actually, I'm going to start with this. This is just a little bit of shimmer. And to just add a little tiny bit of shimmer to the resin, I'm just going to go bloop and add a lot, just a little tiny bit of shimmer. And then we'll add some flakes, some iridescent. That's the word I was looking for. Some iridescent flakes. I'm going to have about 10 milliliters. So I think I don't want too many, really. Just a little bit of iridescent shimmer to it, and then a little bit of purple foil shimmer added to it as well. If they'll get off of my tweezers. There we go. Just a little bit, I think. I think that'll be just fine. Because I'm gonna have enough other stuff going on as well that, you know, I don't need to overdo it. Okay, I've got those. And this one, I'm gonna do mostly just a shimmering white. This one doesn't even look shimmery, and it doesn't until it's actually in the resin, because it's kind of more, it's not like a glitter so much as like kind of a sheen to it almost. And I don't want to add too much though. If I add too much, it'll get super heavy and try to sink. But I am going to do, let's see, 10 milliliters. I want enough that it's actually going to be kind of, you know, opaque. I think that'll be, if we need to add more, we can. But I'm not going to add too much. Plus, I'm going to add some of these other ones as well. This one is white, but it shimmers purple, or it shines purple. Hard to see on camera, but it has kind of a purple sheen to it. It looks white, and then you get the light at the right angle, and it's purple. I'm going to add a bit of this as well. And this is actually, that's powerful stuff. The Pearl X powders, which is what this one is, they're very good quality. And a little bit goes a long way. And then we're going to add a little bit of kind of a larger purple glitter. This one is very similar to that white that then shines purple. I don't know if I'll be able to, yeah, you can't really see the purple in here either. This is basically the same sort of thing where it's white and then it shines purple, but it's a little bit more glittery as opposed to like just a sheen to it. So we add a little bit of this as well. There we go. I really like this stuff. I've been using this stuff a lot. I might have to get more of this one. This one was like a little like test one, I think. So there we go. We've got our three colors ready for that. And then last but not least are the Patreon D20s. I'm doing 3 of those. So I think I want to do mostly like kind of clear resin with a little bit of shimmer to it. So I'll bring back out the, where did I put the, here's just a little bit of shimmer. I'm thinking maybe silver foil. And then, because I'm going for kind of like an eerie, like foggy morning sort of look. So each one's going to have some purple flowers in them. They look kind of blue on camera, but they're more purple in person. And then I think I'm going to do kind of like a clear resin with some silver foil and some shimmer to it. And then I was going to pipe in with a little pipette some like cloudy white. It's just like some clouds of cloudy white. So I'm going to need a mixing cup for the... let me just grab a clean mixing cup. I got new mixing cups recently. I'll just grab a couple of mixing cups. That's going to be for our silver and our shimmer, and then that'll be for the white. And I'm thinking, I think that these are going to take, how much does a D20 take? Probably maybe a little bit more than 5 milliliters each. Maybe about 5 milliliters. So I think we're going to want to do probably about 15 milliliters of this, and then maybe 5 milliliters of the white. I think that'll end up being about right. So I think it might be a little bit more than 5 milliliters each. So I'll grab another stir stick. Don't know why that was fun to say, but it was. Stir stick. Anyone else get like random like words, like short phrases in their head, and it's just like, this is fun to say? Every once in a while, there's just like, I'll just say something and be like, I don't know why, but that's just really fun to say right now. Alright, let's add a little bit of silver foil. Silver foil. Alright. I'll get the purple foil off of my tweezers. We don't need purple foil in there. I guess it wouldn't be, it wouldn't show up too terribly. Silver foil. You know, maybe I should make 4 of them actually, and keep one for myself. And then I could have like a record of all of the Patreon D20s. That seems like it could be fun. Could do that. I don't know. I don't know if I need to, but it could be fun. Let's add a little bit more. Going for about 15 milliliters or so. Oh, actually I need more, closer to 20 probably. If I decide to make one for myself, I'd need closer to 20. Alright, I'll add that, and I think that should be plenty. That should be enough. Try not to get silver foil everywhere because this stuff is so fine. It likes to get up into the air. Let's get that out of the way. Try and get the silver foil off of my tweezers. Alright, come on, get it off. Alright, so there's that, and then we'll do like a white. And let me just put a few little clusters of purple. I wonder if I want to do I want to do that big of a cluster of flowers, or should I go for something a little bit smaller maybe? Just pluck off a few of these flowers that aren't as pretty. I'm gonna make it a little bit smaller, just because I want to be able to see the other stuff that's happening in the die. So I think that's a little bit smaller. Let me just steal some flowers from here. Maybe I'll steal a few flowers from here. Maybe I won't if I can't hold on to it. Apparently can't hold on to it. All right. All right. I'll add like one that's kind of fallen off too. All right, and then let's see, one more. I probably won't make one for myself. I don't know that I'll have enough resin to, quite honestly. That's my concern anyways. Because I did, you know, I do, like before I go and sit down to make dice, I usually kind of, I will plot out about how much resin I think everything will take. So, you know, for these, I was figuring 15 to 20 milliliters of resin probably. A full set of dice takes about 30 milliliters of resin. And then, you know, for these, the blue ones, since I already have these made, I was thinking like 10. The mushroom ones, I'm thinking about 25, because I think I did about 5 milliliters of resin that first time. I guess some of that space will probably be taken up by the actual mushrooms and stuff. But roughly 25 there. And then I have the last thing I need to get all set up for. I have a set here that I'm doing in 3 layers. The first layer is red, the second layer is going to be orange, and my plan is to do an opaque orange. So I have a translucent orange, and then I'm going to mix that with some white, and then I have like a shimmery orange. I kind of wanted to do something a little bit extra, but I don't have any good like glitter, I don't think. I mean, I could do something that's kind of like I could add like a copper or something. I don't know if that's what I want though. I've got like this orange glitter, and that's about it. I mean, I have like this sort of kind of coppery orange, but I don't know that that would match. Well, you know, it could be interesting. Could be interesting. But yeah, so I don't know. I don't know what I would add. Oh wait, actually, I have that kind of yellow, like darker gold color. Let's add a little bit of that, I think. So the majority of this is actually going to be like the opaque like orange and white, and then I'm going to have, you know, a little bit of shimmer and a little bit of the gold in there, I think. So, oh, here, actually, let me do the gold first here. So I think it won't stick to my stir stick as much. So let's add some of that. We'll see how much it actually shows up anyways, since it's going to be kind of an opaque resin. The gold is definitely sticking to that, so never mind. Let me grab some gold out of here with a different one. Not gold, orange. So I'll just grab a little bit of orange. And then we'll add our liquid pigments afterwards. Cool, so we've got that all set up and ready to go. I do think I need to make sure I have, those are all just having clear. I do need another stir stick for the lighter purple over here. This one will work. And then I'll wait for the white. I think I have everything ready to go. I think that's everything. Am I missing anything? Let me just double check. Let me just double check the calendar, make sure I have everything here. Let's see, D20s, part 2, the turkey pork cup, those and those. Okay, I think we're ready to go. Let me just grab my, oh, I found it. It was hiding. It's hiding under my tray here. This is what my lamp goes in. There, we'll put that away. I do need to. I have a little bit of resin still on this tray. There we go. This is what all of the molds will go on. So it's better if it's flatter. Makes it easier to stack things. Alright. And then let's see, I need a mixing cup. I need to clean out a mixing cup because these have little bits of resin in them because I didn't clean it before the stream. But when do I? I mean, come on. Alright. So, let me get all the big drips off, and then we'll take a little bit of packing tape to it. I can't remember who I saw do that first, where they like flipped it inside out and took packing tape to it, but it's just like, oh man, that's so smart. Because the packing tape sticks to all the little resin bits. They just kind of cling to the silicone. They don't stick to the silicone, but they kind of cling. All right. Let me get these out of the way. I really need to use up some of my my leftover resin. It's kind of starting to overflow down here in this bin that I have. I've got a lot of leftover resin. Alright. So this is just picking up all of the little drops of the resin that got stuck on the inside here. I did debate with this cup here, putting all of the different things to mix in the three different slots, and I decided, that's maybe not the best idea. That'd probably be hard to mix. Decided against that one. But I am excited to try that out. I'm curious how it will differ from some of the dirty pours that I've done before, because I like doing dirty pours. I just put all of the colors into one cup and then pour from there. But, so this will be slightly different. I'm just getting some of the last little bits here. Cool. That looks pretty good. So we've got a mixing cup. And then let me grab my safety equipment. So that would be pair of gloves, and a respirator. And we'll be all set to go. Let me just toss this out. Alright, do I have any more tea? No, I'm okay. Never mind, I'm out of tea anyways. Alright. So I'm gonna be a little bit muffled the rest of the stream. I'm gonna sound like this, which has been equated to I always say Darth Vader. Other people have said Bane. So someone who has their mouth covered. I'll try to speak as clearly as I can though. Alright, let me grab my resin and we're good to go. I need to order some more resin. it's in my cart. I need to actually check out though and get more resin. Alright, I'm going to be quiet for just a second here. I can't talk and measure at the same time, so I will be right back. Otherwise we will have a mess. Alright, there's part A, which is the actual resin. And then I'm going to add an equal part of part B, which is what this particular resin calls for, which is the hardener. Again, I'll be right back. Alright, now we're just going to mix for a long while so we can chat again. Yeah, I've told this story before, but the reason that I don't talk and pour at the same time, the example I always use is the one time that I was pouring myself a cup of tea, and I had the kettle, and I was pouring it into my mug, and I was actively looking at my mug, and then my mind wandered to something else, and while I was looking at my mug, I completely overfilled it and got hot water all over the counter. So if I don't pay attention, like actively pay attention to what I'm doing, I'll just make a mess everywhere. Yeah. It was one of those moments where it's like, how did I do that? I was looking at it. Every once in a while, I'll be pouring hot water for myself, and I'll start thinking about something. I'll be like, no, Liz, you're gonna make a mess again. Think about the hot water that you're pouring. One track mind, I guess. This, though, I can do without thinking. Oh, I was going to talk about this earlier, I think. The molds. So yeah, I've finally got all of the little pieces filmed for the mold making tutorial that I'm putting together. Now I just need to finish editing everything and then do like a voiceover, because I decided not to do it while I was working on the things. But man, like, I've said before, I'm not like a huge fan of making molds. I find it really boring. I'd much rather pour dice than make molds. And I think I've mentioned before that I think part of the reason I don't like making molds is because there's a lot of like little steps in it. And so like my brain is like constantly trying to think of all of the steps, and I can't do that very well. And so it just kind of makes me a little anxious. Because it's just like, I know that there's more steps, but I can't think of them all right now. And so when I was making the tutorial, like filming all the stuff for the tutorial video, I sat down and I made a list of all of the steps. Partially because I wasn't going to do things in order, just because of how I make my molds. And I was like, I need to make sure that I get all of these things filmed. And my goodness, the list. Do I still have it down here? Maybe I don't still have it on here. But it was like a list of steps. I'm like, why is there so many steps? It really did just cement in my head, though, that it's just like, yeah, I think I don't like this because it has a lot of steps. My brain doesn't want to follow all the steps, or it's trying to think of all the steps at once, and it's not going well. Oh. But yes, I continue to make molds. It never ends. Yeah, I think, yeah. It's funny. I was talking to a different dice maker friend at one point, and I can't remember which one of us brought it up, but it's just like, I don't mind sanding things, but I dislike making molds, and she was like the complete opposite, where she didn't mind making molds, but she disliked sanding things. Just like, man, we're just both caught, aren't we? It's just, we're both stuck. But that's the thing, though. Like, I feel like with any job, there's always going to be like some part that you're just like, I don't really like this, but I have to do it. It's part of the job. I guess for me that's taxes, but making molds falls into that too, I guess. The actual fun part is the like pouring of the resin and pulling them out afterwards, actually. It's always kind of exciting pulling things out of the molds the next day, seeing how things turned out. Also designing things. It's fun, like, coming up with ideas. I'm excited for this next dice theme. I'm still finishing up the last one that I was working on. For those that don't know, I'm starting kind of a new thing. It's kind of going back to an old thing, but I'm starting a new thing. I'm going to have like a different theme each month and make dice based around that theme. Probably still make some other dice too, but it's going to be, they'll be generic enough that they don't like, obviously based around that theme. They could be used for something else, but I don't know, I enjoy having some sort of frame of reference for things, like something to give me some inspiration on what to make, instead of just doing like, here are some colors and shapes. I like having something that like things are based on. And I'm finishing up the dice I was working on for January still. I think that this set's going to be for that, the kind of amethysty ones. The rainbow mushrooms are for that. This one actually with the orange that we're going to be doing is for that. This is a commission, the blue ones. That's for a commission. But I'll have to, when should I announce? Should I announce the new theme on Friday or on Monday? The thing is that, like, I'd like to finish the ones I'm working on, I guess. I want to finish the theme that I'm currently working on before I start on the next one, but at the same time, I'm almost done with that one, so. This is starting to look better. I think it still needs a little bit more mixed. I can kind of tell how well mixed it is by like how clear it is. Like when I first start mixing, it's very, very cloudy, as part A and part B are like next to each other a whole bunch, as opposed to actually mixed together. It's almost like a whole bunch of layers that light's trying to bounce off of. And then as I mix it more, it gets more and more clear. And then I can see kind of like some streaks in it where part A and part B are sitting next to each other, instead of actually mixed together. And I'm trying to get it so there's none of those streaks, and it's all just like looks exactly the same. Don't want it to look like there's any spot where there might be two different things next to each other. And I think we're getting there. I'm going to overmix a little bit. I'm going to scrape the sides and the bottom
again, I just want to make sure. I'd rather mix in a little bit of air than have it not mixed completely, because I have a pressure pot this is going to be going into, which will help with the air, but if it's not mixed completely, I'll end up with sticky spots on my dice, which I definitely don't want. Definitely don't want sticky spots on the dice. That would not be good. But I think it's looking pretty good. Just trying to see if there's any. Yeah, I'm not seeing the glint of any light, like off of any streaks in here, I don't think. Scrape off the stir stick, make sure there's nothing stuck to that. I'd say it's looking pretty good. I think it's looking pretty good. Alright, cool. So, with that, let us start with the things that are going to take clear resin. I'm debating whether I want to start. Well, here, let me move things out of the way a little bit, because I don't want to knock these with my elbow. So the things that are going to take clear resin are blanks with the gears, and then our mushrooms here. I guess it doesn't really matter which one I do first. Let me start adding some to the mushrooms. It's good because I want to do these first anyways, because both of these have spots for air to get trapped very easily, and so I want to make it so that there is time for the air to escape. So let all the air rise to the surface. I'm just adding a little bit, and then I'm going to go back and I'll add some more. Oh, that is not the right, just a second. That's not the right lid for this. Where's the correct lid for this? There we go, that's the correct lid for this. And I'm like, wait a minute. This is the lid for that. It's like, wait a minute, that doesn't match up. Why does it have it with the highest number on the bottom? That's not right. And it's because it doesn't have it with the highest number on the bottom. I just had the wrong lid. You have mush brain. Is it time to go to bed? It's time to go to bed, Omar. It is. I have been streaming for a couple hours now. It goes, not sleeping, not thinking sleep. Sounds like a good plan. Thanks for stopping by, though. Had to come hang out for a bit. Hope you sleep well. Yep, hey, have a good night. So this is the ones with all of the mushrooms in them, kind of our rainbow mushrooms. I'm just trying to get these filled with some clear resin. I'm trying to get these all filled up to the top, actually. And I want to get it so that these have all the resin in them, so that the air bubbles can start to rise to the surface. Ooh, one of my mushrooms is kind of fallen over a little bit in there. Might be okay. But I might want to grab that with some tweezers and put it right back up. Well, it might be okay. It just kind of looks like it's falling a little bit. Let me push it back a different direction. Get some of the resin in on the side there, maybe. Alright. Oh. 8, 6. And actually, I can then look at this and see about how much resin this actually ended up taking, because I'm not 100% sure. Like I said, I think it would take about 25 milliliters maybe, but a little bit on the lids. I'm just putting a little tiny bit on the lids. I kind of want to make it so that no air gets trapped in there. On the D20 lid, I'll move that in a moment. Alright. Let's see how this is looking. Where are we at? Yeah, I'd say that took about 25 milliliters of resin. I think I estimated that about right. So let me just pull that tray back over here that I showed before. This one, which is what I put everything into the pressure pot on. I'm going to set these off to the side on that while the air rises to the surface. We'll let them sit on that, out of my way. Ah, I've now realized the error of my ways. No wonder that one was the wrong lid. I grabbed the wrong lids. These are all the lids for that. These are the lids for these. Alright, let me grab the correct lids. These are the correct lids. No wonder that was the wrong lid for the D2. That's fine. That's fine. Let me grab the little bit of resin off of these. I'll put them on these lids. And that's fine. Those will have a little bit of resin that'll cure on them. It's fine. They'll be just fine with a little bit of resin curing on them. I can just peel it off after. But that would explain it. That would explain why this has the highest number in the wrong direction. Okay, there we go. Get rid of the 12, 10, 10, 8, 6, 4, and 2. Alright. Just set these up to the side. Alright, there we go. There we go. Helps if I have the correct lids. I'm also going to spritz these down with a little bit of rubbing alcohol, and that should help the bubbles on the surface pop. Helps break the surface tension a little bit. Apparently it's decided that it doesn't want to work perfectly for me. This one could use a little bit more resin. And I want these to be domed a little bit, have a little bit of extra resin on them, because once I put them into the pressure pot, they're, all the air bubbles in them are going to get squished down really, really small, and I need resin to fill up, to take up the space that the air was in. Alright, move on to these. So these have, let's see, the highest numbers at the bottom, yes. Cool. So I'm just going to add a little bit of clear resin to all of these, because I want enough that it's going to kind of coat the sides of the molds. And I want to probably want to kind of squish the resin around in there a little bit, so that I don't end up with any of the numbers in there with like the zeros and things that have a circle there. I don't want any air trapped in those, because it's honestly pretty hard to get the air out of those, and so I'll end up with kind of gaps in those spots. Alright. So, let's see here. So I'm just going to kind of squish this around a little bit, trying to get some of that resin into all of the spaces in there, and all of the spaces in the faces. There we go. Try and get some in the spaces of all the faces, so that there's not just a big pocket of air. I need a little bit more resin in that one. And so we're gonna put this, squish that around. Now there's a fleck of something in this one. Let's get that out. Don't need that, whatever that is. Alright. Before I'm not as worried about. And then let's get these put in. So I have the highest number at the bottom and I want the gears to be there. This actually works out because then I can see which face it is that needs to be up. Okay. The D20, I feel like it's the hardest to get in. Oh, come on. Yeah, so it did not go the direction that I wanted. Which is fine. It's honestly almost easier to put this in the second time once it's actually coated in resin. Was that the correct side? I can't tell. Yeah, I think so. I think that's the correct side. Alright, there's some air bubbles in there for sure, though. Let's add a little bit of resin here, and I'm going to do the same thing where I let this sit for a minute and let the air bubbles rise to the top. There's definitely some air bubbles in there. I'm a little bit slimy. I'm a little bit slimy and covered in resin. Just off my hands here a little bit. I'll probably be slimy and covered in resin again when I do this one. Alright. Same thing again. I want the black end up at the top. Oof, come on. There we go. 12. So part of the reason that I'm doing this too is that, like, doing these two sets first is like I want the air to rise to the surface. I'm actually going to do the flower one next for the same sort of reason, where there's something there that's could very easily get air trapped in it. But also the other two that I'm doing, the one with the orange and the dirty pork especially, might actually work better once it's a little bit thicker. Anyways, dirty pours I found work better when the resin's a little bit thicker, because then it doesn't all mix together completely. The colors don't. Because if you have it all really, really liquidy, then the colors kind of run together sometimes. They swirl together more. Are those not flipping? Alright. I'm still just going down the line here and putting all these in the molds. And I can actually maybe kind of give you an idea of how things are gonna look. Oh, here, let me give you a quick idea of how things are gonna look. I'm just gonna dip that in here, and that'll make this nice and shiny. I'm making a mess anyways, so it'll be fine. It'll be kind of blue and that, like a shimmer black in there. Alright. Let's get the cat hair out of there. It's always cat hair trying to get into things. Oops. I am once again covered in resin. Ah! Okay. I'll wipe my hands off again. These sticky, slimy hands. Ah. Okay. Alright, there's our D6. I can use a little bit more resin there. I need to move some of my stuff over here. It's getting in the way. Alright. 4. Oopsies, I see a cat hair there. No, 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 get out of there, cat hair. Or maybe it's an eyelash, actually. That might actually just be an eyelash. That's a cat hair. I still think that I'd track in cat hair on my sweater. I think that makes sense. I'd track in cat hair on my sweater. I do have 4 cats. Alright. Why are you sticking up? You shouldn't be sticking up. I have the most problems with the D4 blanks. They like to kind of rise up a little bit. I think this one will be okay. I just want to stack something on top of it so it doesn't come up during while it's curing. Alright, there's those. They might need a little bit more resin later on, but hopefully I will have enough for that. Alright, like I was saying, I think next up, let's do our flower ones. So I want about 15 milliliters, I think, of resin here. Why is a cc the same as a milliliter? Why don't they just, why is this, okay. Why don't they just call it a milliliter then? Oopsies, let's not get the silver foil out of there. Come on, about 15 milliliters. Just about 15 milliliters of that. And then I'm going to have about 5 milliliters of the white, I think. Maybe a little bit less. Alright. How much do I have left? I have about 40 left. Perfect. Alright. I think I calculated things pretty perfectly. There's that. We're going to have about 10 milliliters of each of these. This is our various purples and stuff. Alright, there's about 10 milliliters of that. There's another little drop there. There's about 10 milliliters of that. And then we need about 10 milliliters of this. And then we'll leave about 10 milliliters for the orange, but I'm not actually going to do that yet. I want to make sure that I have enough in all of my clear ones first before I do that. Alright, so the flowers. Let's do the flowers. Let's do... I'm going to do kind of a cloudy white. Alright, so this one just has silver foil, a little bit of shimmer in it. Let me mix it up. Get that silver foil kind of broken up into little pieces. So I want it in kind of small pieces. That's maybe smaller pieces than I meant to do, but that's fine. So for this, because I have these flowers here, I don't want air to get trapped in the flowers. So to help prevent that, I'm going to dip the flowers. Let me make sure these are nice and clear. I'm going to take the flowers and I'm going to dip them in this to try and get some of the air out before I ever even put them in the molds. I can put them in here, kind of squish them a little bit, try and get the air out. And then I'm going to take that and try to put it into the mold. I'm going to put it in like this and then flip it around, I think. Hard to see them. Trying to make it so that the nice purple part's towards the highest number at the bottom there. There we go. Do the same with the little pieces of purple flower here. I do this for all of the, come on. Apparently I can't grab it with my tweezers. All right. I'm going to do this for all 3 of these because I want to avoid air bubbles if I can. So try and get some of the air out of these. Especially the big clumps where there's lots of space for air to get trapped. Again, let me flip that around. So the nice purple parts towards the highest number. I'm gonna do all these, and then I will fill those up with the rest of the resin. Divide the resin nice and evenly between the 3. All right. All right. Hopefully I have enough resin here. Hopefully. I guess to be fair, I want to leave a little bit of room at the top anyways. So let's fill these in. Start adding some resin into all of these. And I went for kind of like cool neutral colors, I feel like, to go with the purple. I thought that was kind of nice. Kind of the cooler neutral tones. Hopefully I have enough resin. I think between this and the white will be okay, but let's make sure we get some this clear in there first. I do want to use up as much of this as possible. Alright, cool. And I think we've got that all figured out. Hopefully I don't need more resin than this. Should I add the white now? I mean, I might as well, right? Wouldn't hurt anything to add this now, would it? I don't think so. Might as well add it now. I'm just hoping that I have enough resin. So I think maybe it'll take... Come on. Let's get a nice cloud in all of these. I'll add more once I get at least a little bit in each one. And I want to make sure that I have enough for all of them. This one definitely needs more. Yeah, see, I might need a little bit more of the more of the clear with the silver foil and stuff at the top here. Alright, that one's looking pretty good. This one's looking pretty good. Has some air bubbles in there. Let those rise to the surface, and I think we'll be good. These ones, let's the last of our white in here, I guess. Put it on the lids. Actually, we might have just the right amount of resin. We might have just the right amount. Again, we want to let these sit for a minute to let all the air bubbles rise to the surface, since there's plenty of spaces for air to get trapped. I think we might have just the right amount of resin. Cool. So yeah, I guess it takes about 20 milliliters to do 3 D20s. That's actually good information to know. It's like how it takes me about 20 milliliters to do 4 D6s. It's more like 16, I guess, milliliters. It takes about 20 milliliters to do 4 D6s. It takes about 20 milliliters to do 3 D20s. Cool. I can figure out the math from there. Well, I set these off to the side with the other ones. Ah! Why can I not? I wasn't looking where I was grabbing, I guess. This one's going over here. I don't quite have enough room. Alright, let's see how these are doing. Do these need any more? Do these need some more resin? Looks like they're doing pretty okay. I'm going to put some down again. Again, get rid of air bubbles. So I'll add a tiny bit more to a couple of these. But they look like they're doing pretty okay. I think I've got enough resin on those. So I think we can use this last 10 milliliters or so over to do the orange. I might actually have a little bit more than 10 milliliters, which is nice. Honestly, if it's not exactly 10 milliliters, that's fine. So, how's that looking? Yeah. Alright, there's the orange. Alright, let's actually do, and we've got a little bit of clear left, which is good, because I can use that to fill in anything over here as air bubbles come up. Alright, let me make my orange. And a drop of our orange translucent pigment there, our alcohol ink. Add a drop of white. I guess 2 drops of white, because that's what fell out of the bottle. Let's see how this looks. And I added some glitter and some shimmer as well. We'll see if it even shows up. Yeah, actually that did show up. It showed up pretty okay. I wasn't sure if the shimmer and stuff would show up, but yeah, the shimmer actually kind of works because there's just a little bit, so it kind of like, you almost get like trails of it. Let's see if I can show you. It's kind of hard to show shimmer, I feel like, on camera. Oh, you can kind of see it. You see how there's kind of like lines in there? You can kind of see the like lines of shimmer. It's not just like one block of shimmery stuff. There's kind of trails of the shine. Cool. And I think the glitter actually adds too. Sweet. I'm going to add that fairly late. Let's get all of our colors over here mixed up. This is going to be our purples and stuff. And this is going to have a drop of purple. And this is going to have a drop of purple. And this one's also going to have a drop of white. That's kind of like a light purple. Let's mix these up and see how they look. This one's the white with the purple shimmer. I'm going for kind of a very shimmery white with like a subtle purple glint to it. Ooh, I think that's going to work out perfectly, actually. And it's mostly just like a pearlescent white color, and then there's just a little faint glitter of purple in there. Perfect. That's exactly what I wanted, actually. Yeah, that's exactly what I wanted. Kind of, I don't know, like, yeah, you can see the pearlescent white. Can't really see the purple glitter. There's just like a really faint purple glitter to that. Here's our translucent purple. This is the only translucent color. And it has iridescent flakes and then purple metallic like foil in there. I think I might need another drop of the purple ink in here. Looks very blue at the moment. I think maybe it might change once it cures. I have there's some pigments that look like completely different while they're getting like mixed up and stuff from when they cure. I have actually I have a different purple pigment that looks, it's very muted. Hi Credstick, how you doing? But it's very muted, like when it's getting mixed up and stuff, and then once it actually, you know, it's cured completely, it's like, oh, that's nice. It's a nice vibrant purple. Oh, this is perfect. Nice light purple. It looks blue, it looks almost blue to me, and I'm pretty sure it's going to turn purple. I think this is another a case where it's going to change colors when it cures. You're good, getting a new pressure pot soon. Ooh, that's exciting. I kind of wonder if maybe I should get a new one at some point. I like that light purple. Yeah, it almost looks kind of blue. I'm wondering if it's opaque enough. Ooh, there's a cat hair here. Where did that go? Something was stringy in there. There's a guy. Oh, it's a really, really pale purple like that. Okay. Cat DNA, yeah. No, I mean, it's always the joke that every set of dice comes with free cat hair. I always find at least one cat hair in the resin that I have to pull out each stream. Yeah, it's a nice pale purple. I think that'll be nice. I think that'll be nice. Alright. Is this thick enough? I think it's thick enough. I had it recommended to me that when I pour from here, I have like a very thick stream. I don't want it to make it too thin, otherwise all of the colors will mix together, which makes a lot of sense to me. Am I ready to pour? I might be, actually. Let me start adding my colors. I think I'm going to do the darkest color in the middle, just because I want it kind of surrounded by the other two, I think. Gosh, how do most people pour these into this kind of cup? I guess to be fair, if I get a little bit into the other sections, it's not too big of a deal. They're all going to get mixed together anyways, but I'm trying to get my nice different colors. Get my nice different colors. Maybe it would have been easier to mix them up in this cup. I don't know. Maybe not. Alright, let's scrape out this container. Oh. Well, yeah, that's very exciting. I know someone else that just got like a second pressure pot recently, and it's just like, it's one of those things where I'm not sure if I would get more done if I had a second pressure pot or not. It's like I could pour more things, but I feel like that's not my holdup. My holdup is not getting things poured, it's getting like inclusions made and getting things sanded. Like I kind of have my schedule, I think, for getting things poured now. And I usually get at least like 6 sets made a week. You know, three on Wednesday, 3 on Monday. Not, you know, it's not always that many. Sometimes I'm making other things, but I don't know if pouring more things would help or not. Oh, maybe it's just a little chunk of resin. To be fair, I do want to start doing some stuff that's not dice though, so I could see maybe a second pressure pot being nice for that. Because then I could like make dice, and then I could also work on like trays and things. So that, I could see that being kind of nice, but one of those things where it's like, I don't know if it would help me or not. I'm sure, I don't know, like, how long do pressure pots usually last? Do they wear out after a certain amount of time, do you know? Like, I've definitely kind of, like, added grooves to mine where I tighten the screws every time. Like, there's kind of grooves. Oops, there's a cat here. Alright, let's see how this goes. Get the last little bit out of here. So there's about, you have a 2-gallon, you got a 5-gallon. Oh, cool. Make all the things. I don't remember what mine is. Mine's just the Harbor Freight one. And like, again, I don't know if that would help me or not, because I make 3 sets of dice at a time, because that's about what I can make before the resin starts getting kind of hard to work with. I guess actually I probably could make more sets if I was making all the same kind. It's just that usually I end up doing something like this where I'm making a whole bunch of different kinds. Alright, there's our 3 different colors. Let me grab the molds here. Yeah, I'm trying it out. I'm trying it out today. That's today's experiment. Is trying out the dirty pour cup. Like, I don't really have problems with dirty pours usually, but I've seen some really cool dirty pours where people had very distinct colors from each other, and I'm like, man, I want to be able to do that. And I'm wondering if this will help with that. I'm also wondering if I should wait for this to get a little bit thicker, but honestly, it's fairly thick already. So I have my 3 different purples. Well, actually, one's white, one's really light purple. Should we try this? Should we go ahead and try this? Yeah, it's fairly thick actually. So let's go ahead and do this thing. I pour it fairly. I want it to not be a super thin stream. I saw that pointed out because otherwise all the colors will like mix together. The middle one's kind of chunky, which is working out kind of interestingly. Oh. Uh-oh. Not enough resin? Uh-oh. That could be a problem. I wonder if I can kind of, I'll just kind of, I'm going to squish this out. And then I'll scrape them out for, get the last little bit. Alright, that's fine. Alright. I think I'll have enough. I just need to, actually, get some more of this resin out. This does mean, though, that I'm scraping out each one kind of individually, so I'm kind of not, it's not like not all mixed together when I'm scraping them out. Alright, cool. I just need to make sure I have enough resin in all of these. Because I want them overfilled a little bit. Yeah, there's more resin in here. Ooh, these might turn out kind of fun, actually. I think maybe it worked. We'll see. It's one of those things where it's like, oh, we'll see how it looks once I unmold them. It's a little bit of an experiment, which is I always enjoy doing. I always enjoy doing a little bit of an experiment. I think that's rather fun. Rather fun to do a little bit of an experiment. like the D4, could probably use more of this one. But this does make me feel like, yeah, that's what I was just about to say. I think if I had a little bit of extra resin, it would have worked better. So I'll do that next time. Again, it's an experiment, so I know better for next time. That is something that I think I've talked about in the past with making dice, is that, like, even if something doesn't work out how I intended it to, usually it at least informs me what to change for next time. Sometimes, like, things end up, like, you know, it's like, oh, this is not how I meant to do this at all, but it still ends up cool. And sometimes it's like, this did not work out, but I know why it didn't work out, and I will do it differently next time. And this is one of those ones where I think it worked out, but also I'll do it differently next time. Just a thought here. I think I'll do it differently next time. I do think that maybe this cup worked out, though, which is kind of exciting. Alright, we'll set that off to the side. I'm going to grab a little bit of resin off of the sides here. This one actually could use a little bit more resin in there. Alright, I think actually those might turn out cool. The pours are going to be very nice, just need more resin. Yeah, I agree. It's one of those ones where it's like, I think the dice will turn out fine, but I'm going to change how I do it from now on. It's my first time trying this out. I'm just trying this out for the first time, which is exciting. So I will know better for next time. Alright, let me pop a few bubbles on the surface here that can get popped by the spray. Alright, and then the last thing to do, I'm going to scoot these forward a little bit, is add the orange over here. So I got some orange, a little bit of glitter in there. I want to try and do this kind of evenly. This one I don't want to fill up all the way. So I'm trying to do this into like kind of thirds. I've done 1/3 already. And now I'm trying to do kind of the second third of resin. And then I will do one more layer after this in a different color. So let's just add a little bit into each one of these. I'm trying not to make too big of a mess, but you know, that's always easier said than done. If I make a little bit of a mess, it's okay. I'm always going to make a little bit of a mess. I mean, let's get real here. Now I see... Oh, you know, I thought there was another cat hair, but actually it was just a piece of feather. Because these actually have feathers in them. I did the first layer translucent with a feather. And so my idea here is that you'll be able to see the feathers like in the translucent part, but not really too much in the opaque parts. Of course, I maybe should have made this a little bit more opaque. That's okay. I think this probably could have been a little bit more opaque. Come on. Fill in there. Now, just a little bit too much on the D2 because I want to have room for the last color after this. So I just want a little bit of orange there. I think I'm going to want more in the D20. Like the D20 always takes more resin than I think it will. That's why it's good that I ended up with 20 milliliters for those other D20s, because they always take more resin than I think they will. A little bit more to the D12. I'm just going for kind of rough thirds anyways, it's fine. I think the D4 is probably good. I can a little bit more to the D8, and then I think we'll be good. I think we'll add the last little bit to the D8. Alright. There's those. So these are going to end up on top of the other things, since they don't have lids. So let me start getting lids on things, and we'll be all. Oh, actually, I have a little bit leftover clear. Do I need any more clear on any of these? Some of these have some bubbles, so let me bring these over. This is what I have on the tray at the moment. This is things that are going to go into the pressure pot. Let's pop some bubbles here and see if we need to add any clear resin. Just pushing down on things to make sure there's no air bubbles that come up. Oops, that's not a thing. I don't know why my brain told me that that would work, but of course it does not. I think that's looking pretty good. There, Abby. Yeah, you have perfect timing. I just kind of finished things. I have a little bit of clear resin left. I'll add a little bit to a couple of these, but I don't know what I'm gonna use all this clear resin for. I could throw this into some sort of other mold. Oh, actually, here. I'm gonna throw it into here. Is there some place you recommend getting dice blanks? You want to try making blanks with different outer color resin? I got mine from Rebel Broker. That's where I got my Dice Masters. They've been excellent to work with. So I would recommend them. I don't know what all options they have because I don't know like what your dice are like, but but I would recommend Rebel Broker on Etsy. If they're still on Etsy, actually. They were talking about moving off of Etsy at one point. I don't know if they're still there or not, but if you look up Rebel Broker, you can probably find them. Feel free to DM me if you can't find them, and I'll go looking. But it's where I got my dice blanks. It's where I got all of my masters, actually, and they've been super nice. All right, let's start getting some lids on. All right. Let me pop some bubbles on the surfaces. Oopsies, I got a little flake of silver foil in here. Get it out. So I used my tweezers, I think. Alright. It should be pretty okay. Let me just grab a random stir stick. There's a... Oh no, your doppelganger already went to bed. Of course. You know, because you're the same person. I'm doing good. How are you? How are you doing? Yeah. Let me stack some things on top of these D2s, I think. And get the cat hair out of here first. Yeah, different things. Let me make sure this D2 is in the right setup correctly, and let me stack a D6 on top of it. I'll hold it down. Oh, yeah, let's see. Yeah, I'm doing good. I was productive yesterday. Usually I leave, like, making all of the listings for my shop update till the absolute last minute, and I do it, like, Thursday night. But I actually got all of those made yesterday, which was nice. Don't even have to worry about it tomorrow. Tomorrow's technically my day off. LIS. I can't think of what that stands for. LIS. Legend in... No. I can get there eventually. I'm usually actually pretty good at like figuring out what acronyms stand for. Like and I have context and stuff here. It's like, okay, it's a game. But LIS. I can't think of what game that is. Life is Strange. Oh, okay. Yeah, I probably would have gotten there eventually. Because that is a game that I've heard of. I just hadn't gotten there yet. Yeah, it's always a good day where it feels like I actually got something done. There's definitely days where it's just like, I was definitely working on something. Not sure what, but I definitely did something today. And it just feels like I got nothing done. Those are always the worst days, to be honest. It's just like, I'm sure I was working on something, but I can't figure out what it was. Sometimes it's just because it's like I ended up working on something that wasn't on my to-do list. And things don't count if they're not on my to-do list in my brain. It's like it has to be on my, I have to have it on my to-do list and check it off my to-do list for it to have counted. Alright, let's get the lid on here. Here's one of the D20s. Sometimes I will start working on something that's not on my to-do list because I'm just like, oh, I really need to get that done today. And I will like stop and like go and put it on my to-do list real quick so that I can check it off. Or after I'm done with it, I will go and put it on my to-do list and then check it off because it's just like, okay, cool. Now I have like a list of like a record of the fact that I got it done, whatever it was. To-do list. Exist, try to make someone's day. Oh man, I wish that was my to-do list. But alas, there are bills to pay and things to do to make it so that I have money to pay the bills. Tomorrow though is like Thursday's technically my day off. I still have a to-do list. Don't get me wrong. I want to I literally have play Minecraft on my to-do list for tomorrow. I think I have watch Critical Role on my to-do list for tomorrow. I think Critical Role's on tomorrow. Like that's the sort of stuff that I have on my to-do list for my days off. I also think I need to cut a bush back tomorrow. I have there's apparently going to be people in the neighborhood installing fiber this week, which is exciting. Because I would like fiber, yes please. But the bush around the telephone pole in my back, there's a, what is it? Is it a wisteria? I think it's a wisteria that I have back there. Yeah, I know they're on Thursdays. They've been taking like, I think the last Thursday of every month off. So I had to like think for a second and be like, okay, so they should be on this week. But no, there's a giant wisteria around the telephone pole in my backyard. And so I should really kind of make it a little bit more accessible, the telephone pole for them. It'd probably be nice. But otherwise today is just, tomorrow's going to be a pretty chill day, I think. I can sleep in. Don't have to get stuff done. Alright, this is a D4 that I want to set something on top of because I need something to hold that down. So let's put maybe this we'll put this D6 on top of it. This D6 can use something on top of it as well. We'll put this D4 on top of it. Actually, yeah, this D4 should be good. It has good keys. That's really kind of the problem, is if it doesn't have good keys, well, in the case of the D4, the thing on the inside likes to push up on the top, which causes problems. And then in the case of the D6, it just didn't have good keys on it. This D10 also doesn't have great keys. I think I made these a while ago. I tend to make like deeper keys on them now, so they actually hold in place a little bit better. The deeper keys, the better. Just to make sure everything's in there. Hopefully these turn out good. I think they'll be pretty no matter what, but hopefully good. Here, I'm going to stack a couple of these on top of the ones I said I needed to hold down a bit. Oops. But let's get our purple ones. Oh, you're good. You're good. To be fair, usually I know what the acronyms are. Like, I can usually figure it out. Even if I don't, like, play the games, I know game titles, and so I can usually figure it out. But my brain did not want to figure out what LIS was for some reason. Even though I know what of the game. Yeah, I think these might turn out. Kind of excited to see how these look. See how different it is from my other dirty pours. This doesn't have much of anything on its lid, does it? So make sure there's no air trapped in the zero of the lid. Okay. I feel like this is always, I always enjoy things like this where I have a whole bunch of different dice sets all going into the pressure pot at the same time, because it means I'm going to have all sorts of fun things to unmold tomorrow. Like, I don't know, it's always exciting when there's a whole bunch of things to unmold, especially when they're all different, because it's just like, ooh, what's the next one going to be like? It's like a little bit of a surprise. I think I equated it before to when you order something and it shows up and you're just like, ooh, a present. It's like, okay, I know that I ordered something, but it's just still kind of exciting opening packages. Like Christmas, exactly. It's just like, okay, obviously I know, but still, like, ooh, opening packages. Put that there. Is that gonna be too much orange? I don't know. So I just, yeah, might be okay. I just want to make sure I have enough room for, yeah, it'll be fine. I just want to make sure I have enough room for the last layer, but I think we'll be good. I think we'll be good. Alright, I'd say that that's everything. So, I'm going to go get these into the pressure pot. Thank you for hanging out. I'm still figuring out, I might be switching where I stream my Minecraft stuff on Saturdays, so I will keep you guys informed on the Discord about that. I'm not sure what I'm going to do on Saturday yet. I might be pouring resin anyways, so I'd be streaming here. But I will be streaming on Saturday at noon, either here or YouTube. I'm still figuring that out. And I will be back here next Wednesday doing more resin stuff, so hopefully I will see you guys then. Bye, guys!